Hi Mikel, you must have enjoyed that.
Really happy. I think it was a big performance. I think it was a really good football match from both sides. I think Leicester had their moments as well, and they did a lot of good things in the game, and overall delighted because we got the result that we wanted.
2 goals from Gabriel, Jesus, an excellent performance from Alexander Zinchenko. Are you going to be ringing Pep Guardiola up to see if he's got any other managers to maybe borrow?
We know what Gabi can do. He scored 2, assists 2, and he's still disappointed in that dressing room because he said he could have scored 4. That's the standard, that's the mentality. You want to go to a different level, you need that mentality.
Speaking of the new signings, Gabriel Jesus, he's pretty frightening for defenders, right?
I wouldn't like to play against him. I've never been a defender, but I can imagine that they don't enjoy it. He's so mobile, so intuitive, and he's always sharp and proactive to play in any moment and any phase of the game, and he's a real threat.
And the atmosphere was very, very good again within the stadium. Do you feel like the fans are as close as ever to you and the team this season?
We are telling them. I think every day that we play, it gets better and better. What they've done today with William Saliba after scoring the own goal is something that in my career I haven't seen, and that shows the connection and shows really to be there when it matters and when it's difficult for somebody, and we should be really proud to play in front of them because that was special. I think that lifted the confidence of Willie and how he played the last minutes after that, and to the team as well.
What were your thoughts on the own goal? Do you think we spoke yesterday about paying the bill for mistakes? Does that count as a mistake?
The good thing is you pay the bill, but you don't really pay because you win the football match. So it's much easier to learn when that happened. But I'm happier today than I was against Crystal Palace with him because the way he played after that, I think it was incredible.
Yesterday we spoke about execution of decision making, and I think in the final third, I don't think the decision making's been that quick, say last season. Do you think, I guess, how big a difference can that make when you have players who are making those decisions that quick?
You can see the interaction and the speed of execution. It's a different level now. The rotation can be the same, but the way they can execute it at that speed and being that precise is completely different, and then it's much more difficult to defend.
I know you have like the general structure you want them to play in, but how important is it them playing off instinct as well?
Within that structure, within that shape, within that unit, you have the freedom to decide and occupy any space, and they know that we work on that every single day.
Mikel, the big question with Gabriel is whether he'll be able to maintain that sort of level throughout the season, because obviously he didn't play as regularly at City.
Yeah.
Do you have any doubts that you'll be able to keep him at that level?
That's why we are getting him off as well, because I think he's played 18 starts in the last 2 seasons, and we're going to demand him to start a lot of games, so we have to manage that load when we can. The way we train as well is different, and we have to be on top of that, and hopefully we are.
I think you had 19 shots today, and you look at Bukayo and Gabriel Martinelli, they also seem to have been lifted by having Jesus in the middle. Has his presence really made a big difference to those guys?
I think he lifts the standards, the way every day he's training, the way he's talking today, the way they are connecting. I think it's very natural, but at the same time it's pretty impressive to do it that quickly. But then we are asking other players to score goals as well. Granit is arriving in the box. He should have scored last week. He should have scored 2 today because he had another header. And that's what we need. If we want to be at the top, we're going to have to score a lot of goals, and we cannot rely on 2 or 3 players.
You mentioned Granit there. Obviously, he's contributing a lot more to the attack. How important is he to the system in terms of contributing to the attack?
Is to play the role that we want, and Granit has certain characteristics, but we can develop other characteristics because he has the ability to do it. And when Fabio Vieira plays in that position, he will have a different role because his qualities are different, and the same with Martin. But the team has to adapt, but the players as well have to have at least playing there the eye on goal and having the feeling that I want to score.
4 at home, it's all going great, isn't it?
Really happy, obviously, to start the season the way we've done it, the way we are playing as well, the goals we are scoring, and we played 2 difficult games, and we are there. But at the same time, there are a lot of things that we must improve.
We started well, disappointed with some of the goals that we gave away. I think that was the takeaway for us. We had some really good spells in the game, but we killed ourselves really, and whenever we brought it back to 2-1 and into 3-2, we sort of shifted the momentum straight away back to them by conceding disappointing goals.
I could score more. When I went to halftime, I asked for the people to show me the chance I had. But I'm really happy, We consider goals today, but we stay in the game, focus on the game, we score more and won the game. That's the most important thing.
Well, it certainly was a stunning Premier League home debut from Gabriel Jesus. As we finish with him, we might as well go straight into your analysis because it was pretty obvious what you were going to go with.
Yeah, it was excellent. Last week against Palace, he didn't get his goal, but today on his home debut, he was sensational. Everything he did was just brilliant. Obviously, I've watched him a lot when he was at Manchester City, but for Arsenal, he seems a different player. He seems a lot more confident. Just look at his body position here, the way he adjusts himself to make sure when he receives it, he's got the time to hit it quickly. Going on the back post here, he just
it makes a difference when you feel wanted.
Exactly that. But look at this, the way Evans gets really tight to him, and he spins him, and after that, he's just so unlucky there not to get his hat trick. The pass, the move. He's got everything to the game. I think what was great about him today, he popped up in so many different positions. He was on the left. He's alert in the box. Gets his assist for Xhaka, who was brilliant today as well. He's all about that give and go, and someone should be making a run there to get a goal. But his all-round game was brilliant. I loved him here. Evans didn't want to come with him this time, and it's assist for Martinelli. But I'm just happy for him because at City he gave so much in terms of work rate. He played on left, through the centre, on the right, but now it feels like he's a main man. And look at that. Touches in the opposition box, 15. And the next one is for 7 shots. Yeah. It's one more than Leicester's whole team. So great day for Jesus, really was.
Yeah.
Gary, you're the Leicester fan. Tell us what's happening at Leicester, because when I listen to Brendan, I can see in his voice and feel that he's not quite happy with a bit of frustration in his voice. No outfield players signed at all, and some of their big players linked with moves away. What's happening?
I wish I knew, Alan. I think all Leicester fans are probably a little bit concerned, a little bit worried. There's been no movement in the transfer market. Kasper Schmeichel's gone, and they've not. It's a bit concerning. Also, I think a main worry. I mean, I can't speak for Brendan, but when you're a club like Leicester, who tend to, every time you get great players, they tend to be bought by someone else. And then you've got a situation now where you've got Tielemans, Fofana, Maddison, all speculation about them all the time. And I always think this transfer window thing that comes into play, the end of it is at the end of the first 3 or 4 weeks. For clubs like Leicester, it's a really difficult situation. If they keep all their players, Leicester will be fine. We've gone through some miracle years, and we've been punching above our weight. But I've got a feeling we're going to be back to going to being Leicester City
Maddison
again.
is top notch.
He is. Stop trying to sell him. Shut up. Sterling's gone, but Erling's settling in nicely. Champions Manchester City face newly promoted Bournemouth, who made a winning return to the top flight against Aston Villa.
The nature of the goals, especially when we were getting back into it. At 2-1, we conceded in a bad moment, and then at 3-2, so we didn't give them time to get nervous really. But I have to say that the players kept going. We tried everything we can in the game, so lots of real good attacking moments, but probably mistakes cost us.
How much are you enjoying playing number 9 for Arsenal?
A lot. I was not unhappy at it. I was like, just want to play, understand the club, understand the manager, but, sometimes players want to play, and I'm the same, and here I come, train every day, me and Eddie finishing, he have a lot of quality, a lot of confidence to play as well, and then, I think Arsenal have 2 good strikers.
So the Gunners maintained the 100% record. He's quite modest there, talking about their strikers starting well. But Gabriel Jesus, how well has he started this new season for his new club?
Yeah, I mean, he was frightening at City. He's even more scarier now. You look at him, not just this game, the previous game as well. This is a fantastic finish. This is top-notch finish. But he's one of those players, he will cause you problems. He's an unwilling runner. It puts Johnny Evans on the floor there, and it's a great defending tackle there, but he's one of those unselfish strikers. He'll always look to try and his teammate. and he gets his reward here because he sniffs the goal there. But when you've got Sacco and Martinelli in the team, you've always got a chance. I mean, look at this. Another striker would probably had a goal there, but he's trying to play his team with him, so he deserves all his goals today.
On another day, he could have been celebrating a hat-trick. But can you see he's relishing how much he's being the main man, something he rarely was at City, if ever?
Well, he's hungry, and that's a beautiful thing to be, I think, as an athlete, as a football player. He's hungry. He wants to show that he deserves to start, and he does. He was probably the best reserve centre-forward in the world. And, you know, because City had so many great options, he didn't really get to play all the time. But when he did, he played great, whether it's a centre-forward or off the right-hand side or for left. So they've got a really good one there with a great mentality. He works incredibly hard against the ball in terms of starting the press. And I think his finishing is incredibly underrated. So that could be the signing of the season for Arsenal, because they're going to be good fun to watch. They've got some great players in Ødegaard and Martinelli, as Quinny mentioned, and Saka. But he's the one that could get them over the finishing line.
Interestingly, they hit back twice within 2 minutes of Leicester scoring. Is there a newfound resilience about this Arsenal team?
It's always been over the years. They
went missing for a while.
They went missing, yeah. Since Arteta obviously had a difficult first season, but look, when you got so many good young players and Arteta's mentality, and he's trying to change the mentality, because obviously he's moved a few players on, but he's changed the mentality to be more ruthless. So when you see where they get opportunities, they put him away.
What can they achieve this season?
Oh, top four, definitely. That's where they want to be, and I think they'll be close. They're a good watch. They're a good side. He's a good coach, Mikel, and I just like, you know what they're building. Signing players 23 and under, technically all good players, but they added some winners in there. Zinchenko and Gabriel Jesus have been around winning sides. That culture, that's what he wants to bring in, and they've had a huge impact on the side.